Everybody, welcome to Facebook Live with Mel Rapozo. Today is Wednesday, September 25th, 2019. And appreciate you guys joining us today. Not too much on the agenda, not too much action going on right now. Hey, Kenny, Patricia, Clayton, hello, you guys. Hello, thanks for joining us again on Wednesday. Whew, I don't know, I get scratchy throat today. Just water, just water. Jimmy, aloha. Brian, my brother, all the way from Big Island. Nelson and Alani, aloha, you guys. Thanks for joining us today. I hope everybody's staying dry. A little bit of rain today, kind of cooling us off, but still hot like heck. Kippy, what's up? Pops, all the way from Seattle. Thank you again. Sean, aloha and welcome. Mike Alonzo, what's happening, bro? Long time no see. Just hang out a little bit, wait for everybody to join in. There's a couple of items we're going to talk about today. Nothing of major significance, but definitely some interesting topics. Hey, my sister Sandy. Aloha. Bitos, the scale is fixed. How you guys doing? How's everybody doing today? Hope you guys relaxing on this wonderful Wednesday, hump day. Another week halfway through. Gosh, it's almost the end of September. You know, Christmas is coming upon us real soon. The Pule Ohana. Aloha. Aloha, everybody. Anything burning on you guys' mind today that you want to discuss? I mean, I have a bunch of stuff, but anything that you guys feel like you want to get off your chest, feel free to type them in the little message box. Napa, what's happening? Windy Lou. Aloha. Aloha. Been a pretty good week. Patsy went back to work. You know, she had cataract surgery, so she's been down for a while. Supposed to go back work Friday, but she went back yesterday. Cannot handle staying home and not doing nothing. So she went back to work today. So she should be coming home shortly. So anyway, as we wait for drove around in the AC. Yeah, that is. I used to hate driving, but now I kind of enjoy it because you get to turn on that AC real cold and just be comfortable. What's up, Melanie and Dave? Karen, thank you guys. Thank you guys again. Every Wednesday we do this. Every Wednesday, 5:30 to 6:30. And again, you can visit my YouTube channel, Mel Rapozo. Very easy. Mel Rapozo. Go to YouTube. Hit the subscribe button and the little bell. That way you get notified every time we pop up a new video. So, Pam, what's happening, Pam? Kahelani Kolo, what's up? What's up? Donald Trump, what's everyone's view? That is interesting. You know, I gotta tell you, man, I'm kind of over it, to be honest. I'm just over it. You know, every newscast. I mean, it's this whole thing with Trump is just really distracted everyone from doing their jobs up at Congress. And that's the only frustration. Whether you like Trump, don't like Trump, the bottom line is this. You know, we elect our congressional people, our delegation to do work for us. And it's like, you know, everything has taken a back seat right now because the emphasis is on Trump. And hey, Christian and Lena Allah, what's happening? Bernie, Robert McCain, what's up, my man? I haven't seen you in a while. Hope everything is well. Senator Kanuha, yes. All right, now we get some dignitaries on the. I love it when these guys, senators and mayors and everybody else. Maybe Trump will come on one day and we can ask him some questions. Hey, Parnell, Billy and Roy, what's happening? Roy, my buddy, what's up, man? Must be hot where you at in Vegas. But anyway, yeah, man, it's just frustrating. You know, you go to work and you do your job and stop distracting or being distracted by stuff, and you know, focus on the issues that affect the people you represent. You know, like in Hawaii's case, affordable housing, you know, health costs, the drug epidemic, the crisis that we're in, you know, all of the homelessness. You know, that's what they should be focusing on. You know, trying to get our, hey, Marlene and Mona, try to get our medication costs down. Bethany, what's happening? How about trying to get some funds to fix our state highways and helping the counties? that's what I look at their job is at. If you're so against the president, then do what you got to do, on your spare time to go get him unelected, or find another person to run. But Congress has really, and a lot of them have really put this whole Trump thing in front of everything else, and I think that's the frustration. Everybody has their own opinion about what the guy's doing his job. He's not doing his job. I mean, the crap that we see in the news, depending on what channel you watch, it's just, I've never seen anything like it. I just wish they would, like I said, right now it's like hey Michelle, it's like a bunch of fifth graders. Just focus on doing your job as best as you can, and take care of the people that put you in office, and take care of the people that you represent. Pakala Bryant, Ken, what's up, Brian and Brianna? Aloha, you guys. That's the issue, man. I mean, I just, do your job and stop being distracted. So anyway, enough on Trump. I don't want to waste 1 hour of my life that I'll never get back talking about things that really we have no control of. I mean, they're going to do what they're going to do. But we do have some issues that we got to discuss that our congressional delegation should be working on. Let's see. Construction in Lihui. I thought they're fixing the road. Looks like only sidewalks all the way down to the harbor. I hope they fix the road. Maybe that'll be next. Well, they're going to, the sidewalks and the bike lanes and the pedestrian lanes are all part of this Tiger grant. And at some point they're going to, redo the road. But, again, the road is going to be just the two travel lanes and one turning lane. So not much change. In fact, it's going to be, the congestion is going to be like how it is right now, minus the construction. So, it may look a little nice, but I don't think it's going to do much for the traffic flow on Rice Street. We are definitely removed from the mainland. No, Congress has to do with an AWOL president. They are bringing things to Congress. That's cool. But you know what? They cannot lose sight of their priorities as far as we're concerned here, back home. County council meeting today. I didn't get a chance to watch the council meeting. I know that they discussed some of the ARU bills. There was some discussion on the grant. I know there was a question about the grants, not the grants, but the bond floats, the monies that we borrowed. Hey, Lauren, how are you? And Allison, I had a question regarding when we go out and float bonds to borrow money, we provide in the documentation the list of projects. How many of those projects actually get done? How much of those funds actually are end up being used for other projects? And the way the process works is you put in for the bond issue, and you basically state all the projects that you're going to use. But things change, priorities change, administrations change, and those items can be changed during the budget process at the via the county council. So it is a public process. Oftentimes it goes unnoticed because no one ever covers it. So that might be a good discussion to discuss at some point. Maybe I'll request the information and find out how many of the projects that we went out to borrow money for actually got completed, and if not, what projects or programs were changed. Allison, Chelsea, what's happening? I'm sure I'll be seeing you guys in a little bit. The resolution for the beach access. Good. I'm glad there was a resolution for a public right-of-way easement. And thanks, Ken, for the info. Appreciate that. Let's see. Right in. Alfred, Alan, Alfred, another Alfred. Hiba. Enough with the roads. We need a program for teens who need residential here. There is only 2 long-term facilities and 1 7-day facility. The newest of the 2 opened last month. Hey, Bernadette. Yes, Brianna, I cannot agree with you more. Like I said, when we focus our energies on the luxuries of life versus the priorities, that's what you're going to get. You're going to get these kinds of Tiger Grant projects. Hey, Terry, my philosophy has always been take care of the needs first. Take care of the priorities, the needs. And we know the needs. It's no secret. There's no dispute that we need help for our kids and our adults as it relates to drugs. Hey, Gary and Terry. So I cannot agree with you more. We got to stop this going after monies so that we can say we won the grant. We won the grant. We were that good, but we really should be using our energies and focus on really what the top priorities here on Kauai are. And it relates at the state level as well as the federal level. And it goes back to, when I look at the people and I hear from people that cannot afford to buy their medication, we'll talk about the Jones Act in a little bit, because that's another big thing that Congress got to tackle, because it is affecting the cost of living for us here in Hawaii and actually in Alaska. And that's where we're at a total, complete disadvantage. But, as they say, the easy excuse or the easy justification, that's the price you pay for paradise, for living in paradise. But that's not acceptable. I mean, we shouldn't be gouged just because, or punished because we live on an island that's not connected to the United States. So the contiguous United States. So anyway, hey Vaughn, what's up, buddy? Good program the other night. Sorry we came late, but appreciate what you're doing, my friend. But let's just get started. Salt Pond. I don't know if you guys, how many of you went to the meeting last week? Hey, Clayton and Jerome, what's up? What's up? It was a great meeting. Hats off to the Malia and Kule who put that thing together. And basically what we found out was that the community who had an opportunity to come by and voice their concerns, all in support of preserving the salt ponds, the salt pans. I just paid $10,000 for a container that's headed here. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Bethany, I spent $100 for a month's worth of insulin recently. Yeah, and in fact, some people are paying a lot more. And yet people right on the northern, above the northern border of the United States and Canada are paying a hell of a lot less. So it's definitely, when you look at the way Congress operates, when you look at the lobbying power of the pharmaceutical industry, the hold that they have on our Congress people, that's why we're paying the extremely high medical, prescription medication. It's all about the money. We all know that. What's up, Carla? Jay. Amen. Our cake should be top priority. This hits home personally for me. My niece is suicidal, and only place for her is Kahi, where they supplied her with strings and needles to harm and hang herself. She came back with third-degree rope burns from, man. Sorry to hear that, Brianna. Sorry to hear that, man. I mean, yeah, one of so many horror stories, and I don't understand how you can place any other priority or any other issue on a higher priority than our kids and their health and safety. I just cannot. What's up, Kayla? Kaleo, what's happening? You can ship a full container from LA to Europe or Asia for 1/4 of that price. Yeah, you can thank the Jones Act for that. If Maverick helicopters have no permits, why haven't they been kicked out? What's up, Jody? Anyway, back to Salt Pond. Yeah, that wasn't a discussion on what we're going to have that discussion at a later time, but it was really to get the community's feeling on closing off that access to the beach, which, I fully support. It just baffles me how so many people were against driving on the beach, because I had always thought that, especially on that side, that they considered that a right. But, the bottom line is this, and I made this statement at the meeting. What's up, Ya and Dwayne? You cannot drive a vehicle on a beach in Hawaii. It's illegal. It's against state law. So why this whole issue about have the same discussion we had in Hanalei? And yet at the time, the parks director did not want to ban the parking on the beach. You cannot drive and park on a beach. It's against the law. So, again, when we look for solutions, and you go back to the root problem, right? You go back to what is the problem? What's up, Patricia and Feli? The problem is not whether you cannot drive on a beach. So let's take that out. So automatically, no one can drive on a beach. So that eliminates 80% of the problem at Salt Pond. So, the problem again is because we try to satisfy everybody, and unfortunately, that's where leaders got to be leaders. Bosses have to be bosses, and that sometimes you got to make tough decisions. But how can you say, hey, you cannot drive on a beach here, but you can here at another beach? Because we used to do it all our time. It's our lifestyle. Understand it's our lifestyle. But that is detrimental to the environment. And in salt ponds, it is detrimental to the salt pans. I mean, I don't get it. We allow the vehicular traffic there. We allow the oils to seep and the fluids to seep into the ground that goes into the aquifer that goes and feeds our pans. How can we even, how can we even allow that? So again, we got to look at this, yes, keeping our lifestyle in mind, but hey, Michelle and Sherry and Tony, the bottom line is, if that is a priority, if in fact this county wants to preserve the salt pans, which everyone has said they do, then you got to take the measures necessary to protect and preserve the salt pans. And that is meaning you got to stop the vehicle. Which the Salt Pond Park is right there. It's a park that was built and designed for people to park and to enjoy the beach. And understand it's easy to drive to where you want to fish or you want to go to the beach, but what is the priority? Is it convenience or preservation of that very sacred and cultural site? For me, the site trumps all other conveniences. I mean, it is what it is. That's my opinion, whether you like it or not. I apologize if I offend you, but the bottom line is, if the goal is to preserve the salt pans, then we got to preserve the salt pans. What's up, lady? And yes, Bitos, but there's no salt pans out there in Kekaha. So in some areas you cannot get to, so, in the beaches that you don't have access and that driving on the beach. But again, my point is this, if that is the case, now the law says you can drive, for the fishermen, you can drive to your fishing spot, unload your stuff, and drive back out. But if in fact that is the only access way, then the state needs to look at that and change the law, fix the law. Sup, lady? Darnell, aloha, Hiva. If it's affecting the purity of the salt beds, then stay off that beach with Hiva. That's the bottom line. We know that it's affecting the salt pans because I personally have witnessed the oil in the salt pans. I have personally, myself in Kaipo Singmenda many years ago, and witnessed it firsthand. I know it's becoming a problem. So there's only one solution. Remove the source of the oil, and that is the vehicles and the doggone helicopter company right down there. There should be no commercial activity near that salt pans. And that goes for Maverick and everyone else operating out of that. That's an airstrip that was built during the war that the state wants to make money, so they allow commercial activity. Well, that is a no-no. And that is where the next battle for the people of Kauai is to fight up against the state and say, hey, knock it off. They can go to the commercial terminal like everyone else at Lihui. They can go to Princeville, go negotiate with the owners there. But don't do these things and allow money to be the determining factor for the state to allow you to operate. Period. Perky, Bellin, Lionel, Roland, what's up? Salt Pond is the only beach that may affect the salt beds, but other places for fishing is different for driving trucks up there. Like I said, you drive up, the way the law is written today, you drive up, unload, and drive out. If, in fact, that law needs to be changed, my point is this. If the law is no longer appropriate, this goes with any law in the books. If that law is no longer appropriate, then you change the law. But while that law is in place, it's very hard to allow one segment of the community to violate the law and another not to. I know it sounds harsh, but let's just adjust the law. But salt ponds is rough. There's Patsy, just come on, aloha. Bethan Pualani Baptista, what's up? Look at the erosion on the sand dunes at Salt Pond. It no longer exists. We got environmental issues going on all over this. It is what it is. Specifically for the war, and yes, go where everyone else is, pay to be in a commercial zone. Yes, I mean, you want to operate your helicopters, your big mainland company, then you go play with the people at Lihui and go fight for your space and go pay the regular commercial rates. There should be no commercial activity at Burns Field, period. All right. So anyway, I thought it was a successful meeting. A lot more to go. There's a lot of work to do to preserve that area, and we need the entire island to get behind the salt farmers and the families that have been taken care of, have been anointed as the stewards. That's their kuleana. It's our kuleana to be behind them and to fight to preserve that practice that if it should be destroyed, we'll never be able to duplicate. Aloha, Larry, what's up? If we keep destroying our I-9 ecosystems, we eventually will destroy ourselves. Absolutely, Marlene. Bingo, bingo, bingo. They can go in a cane field and make it a strip. Stay away from the beaches. Just get away. See, right now, I think the focus needs to be on Salt Pond because it is that critical. And, you know, I don't know that window at what point, or a tipping point, I should say, where the salt pans will be permanently affected or destroyed. So rather than wait till that happens and then try to go and figure out how we can reverse the damage, let's stop it now. What's up, Billy, Christy, and Azua, or Azua? Aloha. Now is the time we should do it. And the state is sitting back on their colis, allowing this crap to happen. Now, I got to say the planning has gone forward. They've issued the violations. They're fining these people. They're contesting the fines. They're bringing in more helicopters. So they are defiant, and that is what pisses me off. You know, you come into a community, you claim to be part of the community, you claim that you want to be part of the community, and this is what you get from them. Here, we're going to bring more helicopters and we're going to fight the county. That is not kapu aloha. That is not aloha. That is just purely mainland style, and that just got to change. Okay, I think the salt makers made it our priority, but we don't get support where that company is paying someone off. I don't know what the deal is, but the county needs to pursue this to the end. And if they want to take us to court, let's go to court. What's up, Lori? You want to go to court and hash this out? Let's go to court. Let's go to court. But it's not a negotiable item, in my opinion. The bottom line is this: you are operating, violating a use permit. You should not be. There's a cease and desist issued. You are still operating. Make it a criminal issue. Take it to court. Get a court order. Let them violate the court order, and then whack them on a criminal contempt of court. That's the way. If the building was built without permits, then why don't the city or state take it down because it's built? You know, again, the bathroom, the structures, the fuel tank, or the propane tank, all of those things are illegal. So at some point, the county is going to have to seek a court order to go in and just rip that thing out. But you know, again, they want to play hardball. My position is this: let's go. You want to play hardball? Let's play hardball. All right. Anyway, bottom line is this. We, us people, that we're the beneficiaries of families and friends that come and bring you that Hawaiian salt. You cannot buy that stuff. You know, it's only as a gift. Sup, Shilin? Now is our time to return that, the aloha, by standing behind those salt farmers, the salt makers, those families, and bottom line, the culture, the practice. That's the bottom line. So it's our turn now. Excuse me. I don't know why my eyes stay itchy. What that mean? For the Portuguese people out there, what does that mean when you get itchy eye? I know the Portuguese get one thing for everything that you get on itch. Whatever. Hey, Billy, what's up? Get a backhoe and tear it down like they did to the school on Mauna. Yeah, really. I mean, bottom line, I believe the county does have that authority. I would bet they do not have the political will to do it. But that's the bottom line. Arrest them. What are they waiting for? That close to the ocean. Of course it's illegal. I mean, they don't have an SMA permit. They don't have, it's unbelievable. What we've been saying is if you build illegal, you get cited, instructor has to be removed. They have that special privilege. And that's unfortunate. Because if that was you or me, you know, it would be a different story. But again, money. Good afternoon. Yes, let's do this. Protect all that is Hawaii. Absolutely. Reed, what's up, Reed? How's it going, buddy? I hope you enjoy this weekly. We do a weekly thing. Reed is my buddy, my business partner up there on the mainland, and I'm shocked to see him on here. But Reed, this is just a weekly thing I do, local issues. I hope you enjoy. Hang in there, buddy. And thanks for all your help. Sandy, what's up? El. Okay. Let's go. Joyce, Lazaro, Janoa, what's up? Alfred, your eye is itchy. Okay. Jones Act. Let's go real quick. I want to touch on the Jones Act. Larry is on. He wasn't on last week. It was his birthday. But the Jones Act, listen. If you are not connected to the 48 contiguous states, then any shipping that comes to us, that's Alaska and Hawaii, has got to be done by U.S. flag ship, which means that the cost is increased tremendously. That's why we pay so much for shipping. Hey, Jade, what's happening, Jade? So my point is this: Congress, take a timeout from Trump. Hawaii delegation, a Hawaii delegation, Alaska delegation. Work with your colleagues and look at revamping the Jones Act so that we do not get punished for living in Hawaii or in Alaska. Can you guys do that? Maybe like take I don't know, a week maybe? Just a week, and just focus on the issues that affect your constituents. And I know that throughout this week, some of our delegation, they're up in Congress, their buddies watch this. They may not be here live. We got 38 people on live now, but by the end of the week, we have about 1,000 or 1,200 people. They all get the message. So take that message back to those guys up in DC. Start worrying about us and making our quality of life better than focusing on things that should be resolved later. Okay? Anyway, so yeah, Jones Act, please take a look at it. You know, I understand the reason, right? It's to protect our shipbuilding industry. It was to keep our people at work, but it is counterproductive. And it is affecting two of the states and the territories as well. But my focus is here in Hawaii. Alaska, we got an indirect connection with Alaska just because we're so similar, except for the weather. But the bottom line is this: we spend way more money. Our milk on Kauai is, Reed, get this, Reed, if you're still on, it's $8 a gallon of milk, more than 2 gallons of gas. Our bread, our eggs, everything that we buy, our consumables, the toilet paper, all of that stuff that comes over, we're paying 2, 3, 4 times the amount that my kids are paying in Oregon. When Patsy and I went to Oregon and we went shopping for the kids, Patsy blew her mind. Really, I'm telling you, the shopping cart that we filled up, of course, it was for us too. It was buying some stuff for us while we were there. But the things that she bought in Oregon, she said would be about 4 times more on Kauai. So anyway, definitely got to be looked at. What's up, Steph? Ki'inani, Senator Kochi. Thank you, Senator Kochi. We got Senator Kochi and Senator Kanuha. Thank you guys for joining us. Please feel free to chime in. Okay, please feel free to chime in. Mel, at a later date, I would like to put out to public the issue of illegal lockouts by condo associations, not approved for such, the impact they have on parking. Jimmy, absolutely. And I did speak to some of the council members about that. Now, remember, at the hearing, the planning department said they resolved all of that issue out there at Honolulu Bay Resort, and I come to find out that that's not true, that there are a bunch of illegal lockouts out there at Honolulu Bay Resort and in many other places. So absolutely, again, we would need to put the emphasis, again, because it does affect. And it's the same as an illegal TVR in your neighborhood. It's the same as someone renting out. Patsy and I was coming home the other day, I said, man, our street has cars now on both sides of the roads, and that's because they are renting out these little rooms, these illegal lockouts for Airbnb. So what happens is a 3-bedroom house or a 4-bedroom house, which used to have 2 cars, now has 6 cars or 5 cars, and they got to put it on the street because you don't have room in your carport. So anyway, Jimmy, yes, we'll follow up on that because I think planning is going to have to really take a look at that, not just at HBR, but at the other condo places here. The illegal lockout problem is a problem. And the problem with that is they're not renting these things out to the families of Kauai. They're Airbnb-ing these things and renting these things out at 100, 200, whatever a night and making money at the expense, again, of our community. What's up, Ivan? Lano, they have special privilege and the locals have no say. That's all county and state officials who are making money should be removed. Repealing the Jones Act should reduce our cost of living by 30%. That's the estimate I've in my research, Larry. And again, all I'm asking is that we take a good look at that, because it is definitely impacting the quality of life, not just here in Hawaii, but in Alaska as well. What's up, Reen? I can't agree more. In Jones Act, I have shipped over 20 containers. Yeah, I mean, for those guys that rely on shipping, contractors and everyone else that rely on containers, man, it's just it's 400% increase over what they're paying on the mainland. Charlene, what's up? They will follow the group and could care less about the $7 to send a priority letter to the mail to the mainland. Okay, listening. Caroline is listening in Australia. Oh, hey, Australia right now is the furthest away. If you are further away, further than Australia from Hawaii, please post where you're from. That you probably got the record, Caroline. Thank you so much for joining us all the way from Australia. Wasn't the Jones Act enacted in 1920 before? It was well before the state. Well before. Aloha. Hang on. I just got a low-hanging fruit for the county, $300 a night. Absolutely. And again, the impact, right? The impact is not just obviously to the inventory, housing inventory, but it also impacts the parking. It affects the quality of life, again, for our residents here on Kauai. Kolohe, what's up? Jesse, Hilda, and Jeffrey. Awesome. Okay. Herbert, what's up? We have heard about Kauai was going to be the pilot project for the mail-only voting at the next election. So, in other words, next year, 2020, for Kauai only, they were going to test a project that was going to have mail-in voting only. Well, I didn't know it changed, but Larry sent me Gary Hoosier's letter in the paper the other day. Larry brought to my attention that inferred that it was statewide. So I did follow up, check the bill, or Act 136 is what it's really called. And yes, it has been extended. So the entire state for the 2020 elections are going to be mail only. So everyone is going to get the ballot in the mail, like we do here for KIUC elections, and everyone will have an opportunity to vote. Not an opportunity. The bottom line is that's the only way you're going to have to vote is through mail-in ballots. So that is going to be interesting. I cannot wait to see the outcome, the difference in participation, because we have not been performing well in voting here in Hawaii for a long time. Mahelani, what's up? Hey, no problem, Inard. I'm glad you got it. But whatever you guys need, let me know. I can try to get it to you. But appreciate that, bro. So yeah, I'm curious to see what the impact is going to be, the voter turnout impact. I am hoping that we have a much better turnout statewide, because I don't know if it's apathy. I don't know if it's people are too busy. But we have absentee voting, we have mail-in voting, and I don't. For me, it boils down to the people have just lost interest in voting, because if they didn't, they would vote. There's too many ways. You can walk in early. You can show up at the polls on election day. You can request a ballot in the mail. They have made it so convenient to vote. So we're gonna see. And Senator Kochi, mahalo. I see the legislature changed that pilot project from Kauai only and made it statewide. So I'm just dying I cannot wait to see how that turns out. And I'm hoping that we'll get a very significant increase in the turnout in the 2020 elections. So we're going to see how that turns out. It does say the bill does establish a limited number of voter service centers that would remain open from the 10th business day preceding an election through the day of the election to receive personal delivery of mail-in ballots. So you will be able to bring your ballots to the center, to the election center. Accommodate voters with special needs, offer same-day registration and voting. So if you are not registered, you'll be able to show up at the voting center and register and vote. So very limited service or election service or election center voting. Most of us will have to do it by mail. I think that's a good thing. I cannot wait to see the results. Like I said, I hope that it increases the participation of our voters, man, because we just, it's so, people constantly say, Mel, we don't have a say. It doesn't matter what we think. Well, it does. Hey, Addison, Robin, what's up? Lanieza, are you? Time and time again, our votes are meaningless. People feel disenfranchised. I cannot see how a male-only vote will get a better result. We're going to find out, Alfred. And again, this is where if everyone votes. Did you read the news about Maui Little League having illegal bets? No, I did not, Jeffrey. Oh my gosh. What is this world coming to? I will have to look that up. If you got a little, you can type it in there. I'm dying. I've never heard that. No. But if we have a 30% voter turnout, then 30% of the people are deciding the future of our jurisdiction, our area. So, hey, Daniel. Now, imagine if 80% of people voted. Do you think the outcomes might be different? I definitely think it may be different in many cases. Not all. But when we don't vote, I'm telling you, I come across people all the time that tell me that I didn't vote, Mel. And, as I go through the voter registration and I look, candidates after an election, we get to go look at or before an election, we get to go look at the polling books to see who voted and who didn't vote. There is just an amazing amount of people that do not vote, that complain, that cry and grumble and call me and text me and email me, so upset with everything, and they don't vote. And I truly believe that if you don't vote, then you really should not complain. I mean, hey, thanks, Jeffrey. I just got the link. I'll check it out later. I mean, you shouldn't complain. Because if everyone voted, the outcomes would be different, and the majority would actually have a say. The people would actually have a say in who they choose or who becomes the leaders for them. And that's why I don't get it. What's up, Penny? Jacelyn, what's up? So, young brother is asking for a 34% rate increase. Well, I mean, it's not the first time, Bitos. It's not the first time. I tell you, the impacts to shipping rates directly affect the prices we pay in the supermarket, at the dealerships, wherever we buy, whatever we buy. So we all understand that, and now we see if it's up to the government to see if they are justified. That's a big increase, 34%. My gosh. What's up, Angel? So, yes, anyway, got to get out to vote. So now there will be no excuse, okay? There will be no excuse. Now, I would anticipate all kinds of pilikia after this election, this next one, because, it's a change in how we do things. And then now people are going to complain about how secure is that? I didn't get my ballot. Somebody else voted on my ballot. I never got my ballot. Somebody must have stolen my ballot out of the mailbox or whatever. It's going to be interesting how they deal with that. But again, it's a step to try to correct this terribly low voter turnout that we experience here in Hawaii. Again, it's we're going to see how it works. I would have to believe that it can only improve the voter turnout in the next election. So we just got to wait and see. All right. Okay, I know we got Senator Kochi on. I hope he's still on, and feel free to chime in, Senator. I did want to chat about the DOE, the article. DOE fails to collect on impact fees, and the Department of Education. There was an audit done, and again, we on this weekly sessions, we've talked about the DOE. We've talked about the need for an audit, or several audits within the DOE structure. We've talked about a whole bunch of things regarding DOE. And so this article came out. I thought it was worth bringing up. And let me just read it because I don't want to misquote anybody. It says, state auditors found that the Hawaii Department of Education has failed to collect millions of dollars in fees over the past decade and this is what gets me, and has no written policies or procedures in place to implement the process necessary to do so in the future. See, so it's bad enough that they didn't collect the fees. It's I don't know what word to use. It's reprehensible to not have written policies and procedures in place to do this in the future. In other words, I don't know how they operate as it relates to impact fees. What? No policies, no procedures. Just what? If you like pay your impact fee, you pay. Well, it's incredible. The Hawaii State Auditor's Office issued a report on Tuesday, which was yesterday, on the DOE's administration of school impact fees, concluding that only $5.3 million in school impact fees have been collected since 2007, a fraction of the $80 to $100 million needed to build a single school. In fact, the revenue generated by school impact fees is less than half the amount DOE administrators missed out on in one school district alone. In the past 12 years, state auditors estimated that DOE failed to collect nearly $11 million in potential fee revenue in Honolulu's Kalihi Ala Moana district alone. And this is what the auditor said, quote, the DOE's inconsistent and problematic implementation of the school impact fee law calls into question the relevance and appropriateness of the fees that have been collected to date. The bottom line, the department has no written policies and procedures for the selection of potential school impact districts, the factors that should be considered in determining the size of a potential district, or oversight and review of the process. So bottom line is, again, hold on here. I'm sorry, because I got to keep checking the comments. Hey, Lynn, Jolene, what's up? Sorry to change the subject, though. Just was on KHON News. I don't know if you're talking about the bat or what. Hey, Wally, what's up? No way to recover money at all. Andrew and Chad, aloha, you guys. Yeah, bottom line is this. Policies and procedures are critical. It's hard for me to understand that a department of that size that's tasked with the school impact fees. What's up, Chad? Great summit, man. Great summit the other day. Who oversees these departments? This cannot, since 2007, right, we've had this delinquent or non-existent collections. And if this audit wasn't done, we would never know. But whose job is it to make sure that these things get done? That, I think, is the problem that many of us have as it relates to the DOE, because we know that Hawaii does not underfund the DOE. In fact, if you look at the numbers, and I don't have it with me, I should have got the numbers. Per student costs, we're up there, and we pay a lot of money to that upper level at the Department of Education. What's up, Joy? But whose job is it to make sure that these jobs are being done? 2007, that's 12 years. In 12 years, no one was able to notice that these impact fees weren't being collected, that no one noticed that they didn't have any policies and procedures. So that's the baffling part. This would never happen in a private operation. One of the best things that ever happened to me was, and it wasn't by choice, it was by necessity. I had to go get another job, and I happened to get another job in the hotel industry. I happened to get a job initially as a security, but then moved over to the night audit function. And I've so far worked for two different properties. And in fact, three, because I worked in a property 30 years ago. Hang on, the state recently proposed a $700 million Blaisdell remodel project. I'm puzzled. Our generation cannot afford homes. Salaries for a master's degree average $34,000. Even if we, this thing's scrolling. Even if we then state has private sectors, how can we use our tax dollars to our new building rather than a roof for the Hawaii Ohana? The priorities are all backwards. Guns and stabbings, our mental health and stress is getting to our Ohanas. If I vote, these things still happen. We need better candidates in office to fight for rights like you. Oh, thank you, Steph. Bottom line is this, we determine our representatives. We do. And if we don't vote, then the minority picks them. So, I hate to beat a dead horse, but people got to vote. People got to vote. We got to hold our leaders accountable. It's a journalist's job to make sure public officials are doing their job, not my job. Nathan, what's up? Gaylord, what's up? Anyway, in the hotels that I've worked at, I mean, the bottom line is this. Yeah, if you are not doing your job, you will be gone in the private sector. Union, non-union, doesn't matter. Even in the union hotels, you don't do your job, you're out. Supervisors in the private sector, I'm only speaking for the visit industry that I've participated in, are responsible for the actions of their subordinates. The managers are responsible for the supervisors' actions in their respective departments. The department heads, directors, or whatever they're called, are responsible. And if they're not doing their job, they go away. I can honestly tell you, in the last month, at the property that I worked, only 1 month, 2 managers got let go because they're not doing their job. So whose responsibility is it at the Department of Education to make sure that that $2 billion or whatever that budget is for the DOE is being spent on people, on bosses, on leaders, on directors, department heads, supervisors, managers? Who should be accountable to make sure they're doing their job? Now, to me, that's like pretty egregious when you don't have any policies or procedures to deal with the collection of fees. I mean, especially when those fees generate revenue to build new schools. I don't get it. And we fight with the state because of this whole school lunch program where if you have a zero account. Remember that whole period, that awful time where the state was saying, no, your kid doesn't, we don't have money. And yet they're leaving $11 million on the table. So this is the deal. Whose job, what's up, Myra? Whose job is it to make sure that these jobs are being done? And if there is no accountability, then we're just, I'm going to say it, we're just pissing dollar bills in the wind. And that's not acceptable. So anyway, obviously it's a touchy subject for me because it involves our kids, it involves our education system, and I think that we really should be focusing our priorities not on a $350 million new stadium that they want to be complete by 2023, not by these mega millions and millions of dollar improvements. I mean, I understand there's some value and some need, but when you look at the big picture, when you look at the priorities, when you look at what Steph just talked about, and I'm going to repeat what she texted or posted because I think I can hear the pain in her text. I can feel her pain. What about roofs for our Hawaii Ohana? Guns and stabbings, our mental health and stress is getting to our Ohana. We have so many issues that that's got to be put a little higher on the priority list. But this topic today was specific to the DOE. This topic today was specific to whose job is it to make sure that the jobs are being done. We pay, if you look at the DOE salary structure, a lot of money. Some of these guys are making a lot of money. How can something like that slip through the cracks? I mean, I don't get it. Anyway, so we're going to wrap up with what I thought was not a surprise. Not a surprise. In fact, something I expected. And it's involving Governor Ige's approval rating at an all-time low. It has sunk to a new low amid the ongoing standoff over the TMT, though Hawaii voters have an even lower opinion of the legislature. Just 35% of Hawaii residents said that they approve of Ige's job, while 56% said they disapprove, according to a Star Advertiser poll conducted this month. there was a little ambivalence among those polled, with just 9% of respondents saying that they weren't sure how they felt. So 91% of the people responded to the poll. Let's see. Hold on. I hate to miss text, that's why. So I'm sorry if I jump back and forth. We voted in candidates that were willing to introduce bills that were concerns of the community. The candidates then drafted a bill to support the community's desires. The bill was then passed, but then the government decided to go against the passed bill and nothing happened. Bill 2491. This is, hang on. This is why folks feel that their votes don't count. Well, you know, yeah, 2491, again, that take a whole hour session. That you know for a fact that that bill was an illegal bill. The county did not have the jurisdiction. Had the county have the jurisdiction, that bill would have gone through. I mean, I hate bringing 2490. It's 2491, by the way. I hate bringing that up, but I think you got to understand that as council members, we have a duty to uphold the law, and we take an oath to that. I'll tell you right now, when Gary Hoosier came to me about the being a co-introducer of that bill, I said, take out the part of the regulation of pesticides because the counties don't have that authority. Plain and simple, whether you agree or disagree, that's what the law says. So take that out, and I would gladly co-sponsor. He chose to keep it in. And you know what happened? It cost the county millions of dollars because the county didn't have the authority. So while I appreciate what you're saying, that's not what happened. The reality was county attorneys' opinions, attorney general's opinions, attorneys outside of government offices that I consulted on my own to ask for advice, all concurred that the county did not have the jurisdiction to regulate the use of pesticides in their respective counties. Now, if the state would have changed the law and the counties had the jurisdiction, I would have supported the bill. I said from day one, and I hate this issue because my daughter got harassed, my wife got harassed, my family got harassed. Of course, I got harassed. I don't care. I'm a big boy. But I said from day one, I agreed with the substance of the bill because it made sense. It was just illegal for the county council to pass it. And that is what the Supreme Court ruled. So that is, I don't think that's a good example, of why people don't vote, because you vote for an elected official and you better hope that that elected official is going to do things legally. And that fight, that march on Rice Street should have been at the Capitol in Honolulu, at the state level. But Gary Hoosier wanted to make a name for himself, and he did. He did, even though he knew that that bill was illegal. So I'm calling it like it is. You know, you can hate me after this, but that's the bottom line. That fight, that march should have been done on Oahu at the state capitol to get the legislature to change the law, not at a county council. We don't have authority. The county council doesn't have the authority to regulate prescription medication. The state does. So are you saying that the county council has the right and authority because the majority of the people on this island wants to see the county lower medication costs? We don't have that authority. I think I understand jurisdiction in government. And I did what the attorneys recommended. And not just our county attorneys, because I've often disagreed with our county attorney's opinion, but I went outside of our county, and there was not one attorney that told me that we had even a remote chance to succeed because we just simply didn't have that jurisdiction. So again, I hate to bring up that, but you brought it up. I want to defend myself because I think that was it's not a good example of why people don't vote. I worked 3 years for the state of California and 30 years for the city of California. The state of Hawaii and the way it's being run is absolute joke. Okay, Doreen, Kua, Hayu, Ule, Allison, Francine, what's happening? Nicole, Jeff, Ed, aloha. Wondering when they changed the rules. The sidewalk contractors came down Huala Street and scraped grass and dirt up to the homeowner's driveway and fences. Thought homeowners had some space from their property line to the street. That's an easement. Yeah, I'm surprised that they did that, but they should have notified you ahead of time, Francine. Another thing I get to look into. Awesome. But anyway, let me just get back real quick. I don't want to go longer than I have. hold on here. Where was I? Sorry. Ooh, I got distracted. Igay's poll numbers were worst among Native Hawaiians, 70% of whom said they disapprove of Igay's job performance. Just 20% of Hawaiians said they approve, and 6% they said they were unsure. Obviously, I think the TMT issue really impacted the results of this poll because of what's going on at Mauna Kea. Igay's latest approval ratings are lower than in March of 2018, 2 months after the false incoming missile alert popped up on residents' cell phones. In that poll, 39% of those surveyed said they approved Igay's job performance versus 49%. So it's even lower now than it was after that whole fiasco with the false alarm. So you're welcome, y'all. Appreciate, buddy. Hey, Gio, what's up, buddy? So anyway, not surprising at all. I think when you look around what's going on, I think when you look at how the TMT is being handled, listen, regardless of what side of the issue you are on, and I do not support the TMT up at Mauna Kea. I don't. A lot of people, a lot of my friends, a lot of my supporters, of which I probably will lose them if I ever decide to run again. Bottom line is this. I don't believe, number one, that the TMT up on Mauna Kea is more important than the cultural significance or importance of that site. Just like I do for Salt Pond. Nothing should be able to supersede the importance of that of the importance of that site. That's just how I feel. But regardless of where you're at on this issue, the governor has the obligation to enforce the law. Now, I know people are going to take me out of context and in the wrong way, but the bottom line is this. The governor's got to fish or cut bait. He has the job. He has to make that decision to fish or cut bait. Either he's going to say we're not going up on the mountain and do what he needs to do. I'm sure there's going to be some legal ramifications. I'm not sure what kind of contracts or obligations we have with the TMT people. But he needs to make that decision. Or he needs to make the decision to say we're going to build the telescope and have those people removed. Now, I'm not proposing that he should remove the people from the mountain and go build a telescope. My point is this. He has to make that call. He's the leader of this state. Not Harry Kim, the mayor of the Big Island. Not all of the, grew up here. He'd rather pass the buck to Kim, who doesn't have, again, it goes the same issue I just talked about. Harry Kim has no authority whatsoever to do anything about that situation. It is all the governor. So we have a governor, we have a new lieutenant governor, and what I see is inaction. What I see is passing the buck. Sup, Les? Kaniela? In any corporation, that CEO would be gone. And he has the benefit of being in politics, an elected official, that he can take his time. And at the same time, you got the TMT people who's basically been, they're probably losing a lot of money. And then you have the Native Hawaiians that are hanging on for dear life to something they believe is so sacred. So it takes a very strong leader. And Governor Igay, at some point, you're going to have to step up and make the decision. Regardless of what the polls will say, regardless of what the people will think, you got to go home and sleep at night. You got to live with the decision you make, but you have to make a decision. The people, the TMT people, as well as the protectors up at Mauna Kea deserve that. So again, I am not surprised with that rating, and I would anticipate that going even lower as time goes on. I just can't wait to see the slate of candidates running for governor coming up next year. TMT is about $8 billion that will benefit UH Manoa. That will be considered lost revenue. They may have already implemented that $8 billion in their budget. I agree. I understand, Alfred. I understand this is a money issue again. At some point, though, some point you got to ask yourself: is $8 billion, which they profess will generate? I don't know. I mean, I've seen all the commercials on TV. I saw 2 local girls that came up and said we work up at the observatories. I don't know what they do. I'm not sure what their salaries are. I don't know of, and I don't live on a big island, but I'd like to know how many local people they hire, how many local people TMT will hire, and what their pay ranges will be, and how secure those jobs will be. They say this is a temporary deal. It's only going to be here for a few years. Bottom line is, listen, the whole purpose of the discussion was the governor needs to make a decision. I disagree with putting money before culture. I just do. It is what it is. Anyway, it's 6:32. We went over our time. Appreciate you guys joining us today. Every Wednesdays, guys, 5:30 to 6:30. Don't forget my YouTube channel, Mel Rapozo. Stop by, subscribe, and click that bell so you get notified whenever we pop a new video up there. As always, man, I appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys joining us. I love the discussion. I love the energy and the engagement. Let's keep it going. We'll see you guys next week, Wednesday, 5:30. Aloha, guys. God bless. We'll talk to you soon. Love you guys.